Another milestone for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has now broken $43,000 today on February 8th. And this is really exciting, not only because of the price of Bitcoin, but also because of the news in terms of Bitcoin. Tesla bought some Bitcoin. I'll explain to you exactly what that means and what it means for the future of Bitcoin, because really, this is only the beginning. Stick around. What's up, Crypto Land? I'm Black Crypto, bring you another cryptocurrency video. And in the last few weeks, there's been a lot of crazy news that's been going on in terms of this whole GameStop and Wall Street bets. I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about it. In terms of GameStop, we had a few people that were saying, hey, listen, let's go ahead and short this struggling company. And in terms of that, we're talking about, like, for instance, Melvin Capital, which is a big hedge fund. And they wanted to short this company because they figured out that GameStop is a dying company, sort of like Blockbuster, right? So when the failing business was going down, they say, let's go ahead and just liquidate this company and just get rid of it. But there were some individuals that said, hey, listen, we started to notice that there was a lot of shorts that was going out there in terms of the market, in terms of options that you can, for instance, get. They shorted it, and there was a lot more shorts than there were shares available for the GameStop stock. So in terms of noticing this, they say, hey, what's going on here? We really believe in GameStop. We think that GameStop can be that kind of company that can turn around in some kind of way. We had for instance, I think the co-founder of Chewy was invested inside of GameStop and became a person on the board. Now with this, you have the Wall Street bets who took a look at this and said, you know, this isn't right, because they might be just going after the money. They might be shorting this company just to make a whole lot of money, and that isn't really right, especially for a company that may have the potential to turn around in some kind of way. Of course, we're talking about a company that has brick and mortar in terms of in their retail stores. Well, you have somebody in terms of founder like Chewy, in terms of building online businesses, that they might be able to shift the focus in terms of GameStop towards online in some kind of way. You know, we have in terms of Twitch, we have in terms of streaming and game streaming, in terms of tournaments, a lot of things like that that's happening right now that's really hot. And I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So there might be an opportunity for GameStop to pretty much take advantage of this. So what does this all mean in terms of what was happening? So what ended up happening, the Wall Street bet said, hey, if we start to buy a lot of these shares from GameStop, the price will start going up, and a lot of these hedge funds will start losing a whole lot of money. And that's essentially what happened. And then, you know, the market started going crazy, and it started to have a lot of volatility. So when it came to all of this volatility that was happening inside of the market, hey, the news started taking notice and saying, hey, what is going on here? So in terms of the GameStop stock, in terms of it going down, now the value of it is going all the way up. And the people in terms of this Reddit forum, in terms of Wall Street bets, they're starting to make a whole lot of money in terms of the people on this forum. And then now people who are starting to take notice of this forum, everyday people like you and me, we're saying, hey, let's go out there and start buying this GameStop stock. And that started to drive the price way up. So what ultimately happened is you had other brokers. You had brokers out there, for instance, like Robinhood. You had Webull. You had a lot of different other brokers out there that all of a sudden stopped trading. Now, this caused a big problem. Why are you stopping trading? Why are you stopping people from actually going out there and buying any GameStop stock? It seemed like you're kind of protecting these big hedge funds, and we don't know who is in bed with who. And that's one of the things that came up, and that's one of the reasons why the SEC and a lot of different people wanted to find answers, or want to find answers of what was happening during that particular time. And that was something that was very interesting, because for somebody like you and me to start getting involved with the stock market, now we're going through these different apps in terms of Robinhood or in terms of Webull or these different apps, and we're getting exposed to the stock market, especially because of fractional shares. So when it came to now this explosion in terms of the price, in terms of GameStop and its volatility, and Robinhood stopped all of their customers from actually going ahead and making trades, what ultimately happened is say, listen, where else can we go? Now you have to remember when we talked about Wall Street bets, which is pretty much almost like a meme culture in terms of the stock market and things of that nature. We have also a lot of different experts as well that's in that forum. In terms of meme culture, it really just spilled over to the other meme culture, which is another asset that you can really not stop in terms of people investing in some sort. And that had to do with Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin was very low at that time, and then all of a sudden it shot up over 1,000%. And with this, a lot of people made a lot of money. So what does this mean in terms of you and me? What does this all mean in terms of what's going on today? And why is this good with Bitcoin? Because you're now being exposed to the market, because you're being exposed to investing, because you're being exposed to these different apps and do investing in cryptocurrency or stocks, that's making now the person who's an everyday person in terms of the position to start making a lot of money. And a lot of the people who made money yesterday or in the past, when we're talking about big hedge funds, for instance, they don't like that, right? They don't want to put their money or their capital in the hands of the people. But guess what, guys? There is a big wealth transfer coming, and that has to do with cryptocurrency, not only in terms of Bitcoin or Dogecoin, but just in terms of the principle of cryptocurrency. And this is something that they can't stop. And this is one of the reasons why you have a lot of companies starting to take notice of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So how does everything that happened last week and over the past few weeks, how does that relate to what's happening today? Well, because everybody is now starting to get exposed to the stock market and cryptocurrency, they're also getting frustrated with not being able to invest in the stock market. So where do you put that frustration? You put it into cryptocurrency. And what happened today in terms of why the price is going all the way up and past $43,000 in terms of this milestone is because nonetheless in terms of Elon Musk and his Tesla. Well, they explained today that on the SEC filing that they just invested in terms of their balance sheet in terms of $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. That's huge news. I mean, this is one of the first times you've ever heard a big publicly traded company invest in Bitcoin and at such a big amount. I mean, when it comes to Dogecoin, I mean, we also call him the Doge Lord. I mean, if you look back a few weeks ago, you probably would have seen all these signs coming because he also put a long time ago in terms of, hey, where can I go in terms of investing $1 billion? That should have let you know that he was going to invest it at some time in the future. Also, in terms of his Twitter account, he put on there Doge in his bio. So what does that mean? That means that he is pro Doge, and all of a sudden the price of Doge shot up. Also at the same time, all of this stuff was going on with GameStop and with Wall Street bets and that volatility that's been going on for the past week. So he's been kind of shilling Dogecoin, and now that has exploded. I remember when it was below 1 cent and now it's above 8 cents. Guys, I mean, this is one thing about cryptocurrency. When you have somebody that is reputable and then you have a big company that you trust and you believe in that is jumping into something, you're definitely going to follow behind them. And that's one of the reasons why you definitely see the price going up right now in terms of $43,000. Now, of course, if you're a person that has invested inside of Tesla, what does this mean for Tesla? I mean, is Elon Musk just doing this just to do it? I mean, does he believe in Dogecoin? Does he believe in Bitcoin? Why is he doing this? And I think that there's a bigger play that you might not be thinking about. I mean, there's some people that's talking about it, but there's one thing that you may not have considered. We call Elon Musk the Doge Lord. I mean, of course, now he definitely earns that title. But another thing that we kind of call him is pretty much our own modern day Iron Man. I mean, this guy has done so much in terms of technology with his companies, in terms of Tesla and SpaceX, and in terms of his solar company that he merged with Tesla, of course, and in terms of his Hyperloop. I mean, the guy has been doing so much things in terms of technology. Anything that he does or get behind when it comes to technology, you should pay close attention to. Not only that, in terms of SpaceX, he's trying to go to Mars, and he's trying to colonize in terms of Mars. I mean, honestly, Do you think they're going to be using dollars on Mars? What kind of currency do you think they're going to be using on Mars? Cryptocurrency. I think that Elon Musk is well ahead in terms of what he has in terms of plans for his Tesla company and in terms of SpaceX. But SpaceX is a little bit more in terms of the future, in terms of when we're going to be able to go there, in terms of you and me, and in terms of when we're going to be able to spend our cryptocurrency on Mars. But let's talk about in terms of down here on Earth, in terms of his Tesla. I mean, think about it. Tesla, one of the great things about Tesla is not in terms of its cars or in terms of its beautiful cars, in terms of the Model S or the X or anything like that. It has to do also with its autopilot function. Now, when it comes to its autopilot function, this is something that you might be used to. You see people maybe driving down the road and they might fall asleep, or you may have seen a Tesla and checked it out in terms of video online. But think about this in the future when it comes to Tesla, when they're going to be using these cars in terms of taxi services, how else are you going to pay these automated taxis? Cryptocurrency. I mean, think about it. Cryptocurrency is going to play a big role in the future in so many different ways, not in terms of only financial or in terms of the automotive industry. I mean, you're going to see it transform a lot of different other sectors, also in terms of voting, in terms of manufacturing. A lot of these different industries are going to be changed by blockchain technology itself. And that's only going to make these companies invest inside of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency technologies. So I think that this is only the beginning. We're seeing right now in terms of Tesla investing 1.5 billion. I mean, we're talking about a company that is very, very cash rich. So when it comes to Tesla, what happens when another company starts to do the same thing? Maybe like an Apple. I mean, what if Apple decided to follow suit and invest 3 billion into Bitcoin? What happens then? I mean, this is only going to be a pattern when other companies are going to see what's happening and they're just going to start flooding Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. I mean, you're already seeing what's happening with Ethereum. Ethereum is close to $2,000. I mean, I didn't think that we would be hitting $2,000 so soon, to tell you the truth, but I think that we're on the way to maybe $5,000 when it comes to Ethereum. I mean, guys, also remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you go ahead and seek a professional when it comes to you and your finances. You know, I've always wondered what the future might look like. I mean, growing up, you might be a person that watched the Jetsons when you were growing up, or you may have seen the movie, for instance, like The Fifth Element, for instance, and you've seen a lot of movies today that are futuristic movies that you think, hey, is that possible? So I say to myself, a lot of these things are actually coming true. I mean, you think about Star Trek. I mean, he was wearing the visor. I mean, you have Google Glass. I mean, a lot of these things that were in the past are now coming true. So what might be the future when it comes to technology? I mean, we're seeing in terms of AR, VR, AI. We're seeing so many different technologies that are starting out now. What are these technologies going to look like in the next 5 to 10 to 20 years, especially when they become mature? What are the companies going to look like that are starting to experiment with these new technologies? Of course, you have a lot of startups, right, that always overtake industries. Tesla has just done this in terms of the automotive industry, just like, for instance, Facebook did to MySpace. So if Tesla is doing this in terms of investing inside of Bitcoin, I can only imagine what the future is going to be. So when I think about the technology which is going to be in the future, I think to myself in terms of how am I going to get around? Of course, that's going to be by automated taxis. I mean, how am I going to start interacting with vending machines? Because a lot of people are concerned with health today in terms of money or in terms of interacting with people. So there's going to be a lot more vending or automated type of tellers or cashiers or different things like that. So how are you going to interact with that? Of course, you might have your smartphone and you might have your dollars and you can just pay with things like that. But what is going to be that ultimate digital currency? Maybe a digital currency. So that might be Bitcoin, it might be Dogecoin, it might be Ethereum, it might be Litecoin, whatever it might be. All I'm trying to say is maybe the principles behind Bitcoin and the principles behind blockchain are very solid. So there you have it, guys. That's everything you need to know that's been happening over the past few weeks and why the stock market maybe has been acting really crazy and GameStop has been inside of the news. In terms of Tesla, this is very good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. I can't imagine what's going to happen with all these other companies, follow what Tesla is doing, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future when we see different cities come online in terms of smart cities. That's another thing you probably haven't thought about in terms of how will they transact in terms of the economy. That's going to be cryptocurrency as well. I think that this is only the future in terms of what we're going to be seeing in terms of the price. I think it might shoot all the way up to $300,000, $400,000, $1 million per coin, but who am I to say and who am I to judge? All I'm here to do is to tell you all about it and give you the basis of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and hopefully encourage you to build up your generational wealth for yourself and your family. Guys, I'm Black Crypto. Thank you for checking out another cryptocurrency video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so you'll be notified anytime I release any videos right here on my channel. And also make sure you go ahead and hit up my Twitter and my Instagram, BLK Crypto. Make sure you follow me there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.